Now the problem with this computer is that it has a bad LCD. Every time you touch right here in this area, you see the glitch. So we decided to replace the whole thing instead of getting a new one, or I mean, instead of getting it. So I'm gonna show you. So that's the lines right there. And starts with some lines in here, and once the LCD is warm, like everything starts fading. Um, so if you have a MacBook like this, you gotta be careful when you clean the screen, because the owner said that she sprayed some liquid and it probably went inside here. So you gotta be careful with that if you own one like this, um, because it goes bad. So it's starting to leach, just like that. So we wanna have to replace it. Okay. In order for us to do that, we're gonna need basically the screen. We have this screen. It's called Rose. The model is like 2337. I got it from one of our vendors, but you can also find them on Amazon, but you got or eBay, but you got to be careful not to buy a broken one, or make sure it's compatible. Anyway, we are going to start with a screwdriver. Always recommend you, especially when working with Macs, you have to keep track of your screws. Okay, so the best way to do it is like creating a pattern on your table. So the same way you got them out, the same way and the same spot they need to go back in. All right, and then for this one we have so we have different bits right now, right here. This one is a screwdriver star shape, especially from Apple. So you got to be careful. You have to make sure you have the right one. Otherwise, if you have a bigger one, won't go in. If you have a too small one or a crappy one, it will strip the screws, and it's going to be really hard for you to remove them. So we have that one in here. Now I normally have like a little magnet just to grab the screws, and what I do, I'm just going to put them over here, creating the angle or the square. Just making sure that when I grab one screw, it's going back the exact same place. So we don't run into issues, because especially with Apple products, the screws are way different size. Look, this one right here, this one is from here, this one is from here, from the corner. So there are different shapes, different sizes. So keep track of that. Make sure you wanna put them back where they belong. Otherwise, you will have issues. All right. So I get this one over here. Let's grab the one from here. It's again different shape, different thickness. So keep that in mind when you work on Apple products. All right, we have that. In order for us to remove it, we just probably lift it from here. There's a couple of clips right here, so you want to lift them this way, and it'll pop. These clips go right here. So you know, that's why it feels like this. It's kind of hard to remove. Now we want to disconnect the battery. The main battery right here, the connector. So it's like a little latch. Lift it and you pull, just like so. Now that we don't have any power in, we're going to go ahead and remove the connector. Okay, let me see, I have the screen right here. It's a brand new screen. Sometimes they come with instructions if you're trying to do it yourself. If you are very confident on doing it, you can do it. If not, hire somebody to do it. Alright, so we have a screen right here, gold rose or a pink color. So right here, now we want to need to remove this screw from here because this is the wireless antenna. Make sure you have the right one. This one is a little too big for it, so we want to need a smaller one. This one seems to be a little too small, so maybe one bigger one. Sometimes we have the size, but not all one. So just try to find the right one. This one is too big. This one is a a Phillips screwdriver, so probably not even for that. There we go. So this one seems to fit. Keep that one in. And we're just going to remove the one from here. And always keeping track of your screws. This one is way smaller. I'm gonna put it right next to the bracket so I know where the bracket goes. Right there. Now we want to remove this right here. Oh, these ones are the connectors. So they should be the same size. Okay, we keep one over here. Alright, and I try normally to put them right next to each hole. So the screws go right here. I know the screw goes over here and this one goes in here, so that way I keep good track of it. This is the screen connector. Okay, and I think that's the only thing we have to remove. From this one right here, we have a different screws. We have to remove this one. I believe these two right here, and these four right here. So we need to find a different size screwdriver. Okay. This one seems a little too small. This one fits. So you have to have different bits, otherwise you won't be able to do it. Sometimes these screens come with a, see, this one is a little too small, so I have to find the right one. Hopefully this is the one. I don't want to damage the screw, otherwise it's going to be really hard to remove. Okay, there's no screws in there. These are the ones I need to remove. There's two black screws right there. Those are the ones that keep the connectors down. Alright, so this one I know is going over here, so I'm just going to put right there. And I got the other one over here. Okay, so we have those. Now I'm going to this one right here. This one came off. I'm just going to keep it there. And this one came off. I don't know where it went, but I'm going to keep this one in here and these two over here. And this one over here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and see these are the connectors or the ribbons. We have to remove this. Sometimes this is a little tricky, so we gotta be careful with that. We have to disconnect the antennas like that. Don't be too rough with that, otherwise you might damage them. Alright. For that I'm gonna use, I think it's like some type of adhesive, keeping this bracket down. You gotta be careful when we try removing it. Okay, just go like this. You see it's lifting. So this one right here, and force it. Still waiting for the screw. I don't know where the screw went. Over here. Then find it right away and then keep a track of them. There we go. There's some adhesive in there. It's really hard to remove sometimes. Okay, let's try with this one. Okay, the plastic keeps getting back in place. This is sometimes the hardest part to do this job. So just remember that. And then always take your time. Don't force them. Don't force anything. Otherwise you end up damaging stuff and you don't want to bend it or dent anything. Alright, so that one is out this side. Just gonna keep lifting slowly. Moving but a little bit. Alright, that one is going. I'll flip this one over this side. I just want to try lifting this one from here. There we go. Get there. But this is super strong and this is like very hard to grab. That's alright. Careful with these cables. This is the adhesive, very strong adhesive. Alright, so we keep this one over here with the screws, organizing them, and now we have this one right here. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove these screws. These are gonna be the bigger ones. I believe the size is a T8, number 8. So keep track of that. Alright, and then we are gonna, I might need a different one because this one is a little too small and I don't have the good grip. Like I said, you need to have a good collection of those screw um, driver bits because some of them are really different and hard to remove. I think I have this one right here, and this one is a different screwdriver, so I'm gonna be able to remove it easier. So a better grip. See, it's even stuck in there. Alright, so for that one, we keep track of our hinge screws. Okay, one more right here. Make sure you push down and turn so you don't strip the screws. Alright, and then we go here to the other side, push down and then turn. Okay, this one came off, so that's the right size. Very, very, it fits very tight, very nicely. So you have to have a good collection of this. Otherwise, you don't have the one, you'll have hard time getting it off. Now to remove the screen, I'm going to just go ahead and open the screen like normal, just a little bit right there. Okay, so it's right there. Now I'm going to use the screwdriver and open the hinges all the way back, like so. All right, and then now to remove the screen, we open it all the way, and then I normally put it in the edge of my um, workbench, like so. And then this one just comes up like this, just a little wiggle. There we go. So just come like that a little bit. All right, let me see if I can fix my camera so you guys can see. All right, so now we have the screen over here. This is the one. Okay, so we just make sure I'm gonna match this one with a new one. There it is, very similar. It's good. Then I'm gonna remove this little sponge. I normally keep the plastic when I do screen replacements. I normally keep the screen because I'm gonna be touching it, and then if I remove it or beforehand, I'm gonna leave marks like this one right here. All those marks, fingerprints. That way, when this is done, I can always just remove it. All right, so I'm gonna open the hinges all the way, like I did with the other one, like so. Then I'm gonna put this one back in. So normally, make sure this connector is up, and then these hinges go back in place just like slide in place, just like so. Very simple, very easy to do. Okay, now I'm gonna put a couple of screws, maybe just one on each side. It's a little hard to grab with just one hand, so I got my magnet, and I'm just gonna put one in the middle. There we go. I'm gonna grab another one. And this one just goes right in the middle as well. There we go. So now it's in place. Now I can use my screwdriver. And it was in. just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna close the lid. There we go. Okay, so the screen is nice and centered. I'm gonna undo this one a little bit. The reason is because when you make these ones too tight, sometimes the screen is out of place and the other screws won't go in. So that's the main reason. Alright, so this one belongs here. This one belongs here. I'm putting the screws back in the exact same place just to avoid any. Again, I'm not going to tighten it all the way, but they're supposed to go in. Once they go in, they will align the screen perfectly. There we go. And then we have one more for the hinges. See, if it doesn't go in, it means like sometimes it's not aligned. Okay, so we have all of them in. Now we can make sure they're nice and tight. All right, so here we go. Now we are going to insert our bracket. So this one goes over here, and the only way to tell is where these cables go into these connectors. So we just make sure it's in place. This cable needs to come off. It needs to go over. So that's going to be it. That's the way to do. All right, make sure it's going nice and flat. All right, so this one is going to be just like this. Now the connectors should be just like that, and then we are going to start with the ones in here. All right, so we start with these connectors. There's going to be okay, this one was here, this one was on here. I'm just trying to think because I flipped the angle of the laptop, so now it's upside down. So I have to make sure those screws go back in place. All right, so we have now we want to find the size that fits. Then again, just tie one at a time, not all the way in though, just so you know it's going to go in place without issues. There, everything is sitting properly. Just trying to see if this one is going to have any issues. It looks just all the way in. We should probably just leave it that way. Okay, it looks very flat. So, all right, now we start with putting this in place, making sure they're nice and tight. Down like that. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it this way, and then now I'm gonna make sure the connectors are in place. And I believe this dark one, this one goes in there. This one goes in here, and it looks like we are 50% all the way over the repair. All right, that one went in. This one's going in. And now what I'm gonna do is just try to put. I'm gonna test the screen, so I'm gonna connect it, make sure it's going in, just like that. And then we are gonna test the screen. I'm not gonna connect this the battery. I'm just gonna use the charger, and we are like 50, like halfway, more than halfway of the repair. So we gotta make sure everything is going to be nice and in place and is working before we continue. All right, so all right, so we have no image. The computer powered on. I can see right here. All right, so we got an image right now. See, you can see it working. So we have good. It's not glitching like it was before. There was the lines over here coming down, so we are good to go. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna shut it down. I'm gonna shut it down. All right, continue with the repair. So before you continue, you can fix or check your work. Otherwise, you might run into issues like it's not gonna uh, work, and you're gonna end up trying to do something or removing the screen, sending it back, and stuff like that. Always check your work as you go. So now we have this one right here. Now connect these cables. Make sure they go nice and slow. Don't force anything. This is like a puzzle. It should go in place the way. All right. See, just want to make sure that it's right. Otherwise, yeah, we don't wanna. Well, don't force anything, otherwise you might end up damaging those connectors, and if you damage them, you want to have to replace them or look for a different part and stuff like that. You might have to do micro soldering, replacing parts, and or damage the entire motherboard. So you should always find the right place. Do not force anything. You gotta make sure that everything goes back in place. Let me grab my Okay, where am I? I will use my tweezers. Use the tools you need. This one is not going. Sorry, make sure it's going nice and with any issues. Otherwise, you get super. Go right there. It doesn't go in. So I have two. These are the ones right here. Try different angle. There we go. Clicked. It went in. You gotta make sure it's going the right way. Don't force it. If you force it, you might end up damaging the motherboard, and you wanna have to pay for it or replace it. Or all right. So now we go with a little bracket right here. That's for the connector, and since it was right next to the screw, I believe that one is this one right here. It's a little tiny. All right. So right there. These are super tricky to do, especially for me because I'm trying to do it without putting my head right in the middle of the camera or between the camera. Let's try one more time. I may have to use the magnets. Align it. This is super tiny, super hard. Let me try something else. Alright, it's nice and aligned. Now the problem is when I try to keep the screw from going. Alright, okay, it's in place now. It was a little hard, just don't get frustrated, don't rush, take your time. If you have the patience to do it, find somebody that can do it for you. Otherwise, I want to say that 90% of people that try repairing something like a laptop or desktop computer or a phone, they end up causing more damage. And of course, it's more expensive for them to fix it. And now we have this bracket. Okay, we have this one right here that belongs here. And this one right here that belongs on the other side. Very tiny pieces, very tiny. you have to have the tools that you need. All right, one more time. So now we have all the tools. All the tools are in. We only have the the bottom the bottom cover to do. So we are going to install. I'm gonna clean the computer. So I normally clean it for the customers. I'm gonna do that before I connect um, the battery. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure everything's nice and tight in there, especially the hinges. All right, so all of them are good. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to show you how to clean. You don't need a lot of stuff to clean. What you need is just like a one dry cloth, and let me go get the other one. All right, so for this one, you just need a wet cloth. This is just wet. It's not dripping water or anything. So it's just them, okay? And then the dry one. So you can see how, so that don't put any special stuff because it's gonna have chemicals and you might end up damaging your computer. So just plain water on a wet cloth. You can see a few times. Be careful not to rub too hard, otherwise you might lift, um, peel the keys up. Right there, as you can see, there's a little spot right here that is still a little dirty. Rub it. Since this one is not too wet, the water won't go inside. It won't drip. It doesn't need to be dripping, okay? So you can see right there. Times, making sure it's nice and clean. Now we have the dry one. This is dry. Again, cleaning it. This is all you need to clean it. You can clean it. You can do the same with the screen. Make sure it's not dripping water. It's just damp, and then you will clean it. I've seen customers trying to clean it with uh, glass cleaner and stuff like that, and they end up causing damages. Don't spray. Use the wet cloth and the dry cloth. As now you can see, nice and clean keyboard. All good. So now we are going to connect the battery. That's going to be almost the last step. Make sure it's going right on angle. Don't check everything. Just make sure it's going properly. Otherwise, you might end up damaging. You damage the connector, or you might cause more damages. Make sure it's nice and aligned. There we go. Nice click. Sitting properly. No gaps. And then we just push the latch down. Grab our clean cloth. We used a little bit of compressed air. what I'm gonna do. A little cleaning, a little dust, just like so. Nice and clean. You can use this bottom one, clean it with the wet one. You can see there's not a lot of water, and just dry it off to make it nice and clean. All right, see there's the spots right here. We want to clean those. So now we want to make sure we are putting the computer the right way. That is, we want to be aligned. And then remember the clips are right here, so we push there. There's a click. Now we know that the bottom cover is in place. Now these dirtiness are going to be gone. Just water, plain water, wet cloth. You don't need much. Like I said, don't use any chemicals, otherwise you might end up damaging. I think that was the case with the lady. She said she used some cleaning liquid and then went inside and it ended up damaging. Alright, and we have this one right here. You can see, nice and clean. I didn't use soap, I didn't use any cleaning supplies, I didn't use anything, just plain water and a dry cloth. Alright, so now we want to put the last of the screws back in place. Wait, before I proceed, let's check if it's powering on, because we didn't. Alright, right now it's running on battery. Okay, we're gonna install connector. There we go. We hear the noise, the Apple chime. You see the bar right here is going. It's under this paper. So I can see the arrow right here. Boom. That's all good. It's installed. Battery's charging right here. So I'm gonna shut it down again. And then finish the installation of the bottom cover. Always make sure to put those screws where they belong, because there are different sizes and shapes. Look at this one goes in here and this one goes in here. Look at the difference. I don't know if you can tell. Difference in shapes and thickness. So don't put the screws in the wrong place. Alright, so we have this one right here. See, I'm grabbing them as I go in this exact same shape. That way we don't mix them up. Alright, let's start with one. Okay, this one is not the screwdriver. So let's see which one it is. I believe this is the one. Nope, not that one. Not that one. This one is smaller. Not this one. So you have to make sure you have the right tools. This one seems to go in. Nope, it's too big. And this one, it's a T2 size. So this one worked. T2, T for Tom, number 2 size. T2 sides. So we have this one in. We're just finishing this repair, putting everything back in place, finishing with the back plate. So if you guys like what you're seeing, please don't forget to follow. Save this video for the future. If you have a MacBook Pro Gold Rose, this is a MacBook Air Gold Rose 2020. If you have one similar, save it. You might be able to find this video useful. Don't forget to follow, and please share if you can. Okay. My name is Jorge. I live in Appleton, Wisconsin. The company is IT Evolution. You can see on the screen, IT Evolution, Appleton Computer Repair. And we do computer repairs, cell phone repairs, laptop repairs. We work on any kind of computer, cell phone, laptop, desktop, any kind of brand. Okay. All right. We have the computer one more time, and it's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys don't forget to follow so you can check the next ones. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.